What is going on with Joao Cancelo? At one point, Cancelo was one of Guardiola's most important players at Manchester City. He was widely regarded as one of, if not the best fullback in the world. He was versatile and could play on both sides and even finished in the top 30 of the Ballon d'Or in 2022. Going from that to being rejected by almost every club he's been to since, and finally being shipped off to the Saudi League at just the age of 30. But why has this happened? How has Cancelo's career turned out like this? Well, today we look into that.
We're not here just to take part, we're here to take over.
Being a player under Pep Guardiola, either two things end up happening. The first being you become one of the best players in your position, for example, KDB, Rodri, Haaland, and Foden. And number two, you decide that you're not being played enough because of Pep's rotation and you decide to leave. Now in this category, you got guys like Sterling, Zinchenko, Jesus, and Sane. But just like the wise Kevin De Bruyne once said, it's always downhill after City. But out of all the names I just mentioned, the one who has had it the worst by far is Joao Cancelo. At one point, Joao Cancelo wasn't just one of the best fullbacks in the world, but one of the best players in the world. I mean, just look at the clubs he's played for. Juventus, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Barca, and even Inter. All huge clubs in the world of football. But why does it seem as though that he can't find a home considering how good of a player he is? And I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen a fullback with the same skill set as Cancelo. Technically, he's one of the best ever fullbacks. The way he takes on players, his passing, his dribbling, just every attribute he has is way above average for a normal fullback. And I mean, just looking back at his time at Man City, you can see why he was such a vital player for Manchester City. He joined Man City back in 2019 from Juventus and was part of a swap deal where Danilo ended up going the other way, with the deal in total being around £60 million. When he arrived at that club though, Benjamin Mendy was still there and he had that left back spot. So he didn't get that many minutes in his first season. And this wasn't out of the ordinary for new Pep players because they end up taking a little while to adapt, at least one full season to get used to the Pep style of play. And this is exactly what happened to Joao Cancelo because as the 2021 season rolled around, he became an important player for Pep and Man City. Taking the inverted fullback role, Cancelo was the perfect player for this position. He ended up finishing the season with 43 appearances and getting into the PFA Premier League Team of the Year. The 21-22 season though was the season where we witnessed prime Joao Cancelo. The man ended the season with 10 assists, including a hat-trick of assists in a Champions League game against Club Brugge. He was the best left back in the Premier League by far, and Man City ended up winning their second successive Premier League title, making it 4 in the last 5. It was this season that Cancelo became a staple in Pep's system, and he ended up finishing in the top 30 in the Ballon d'Or for 2022. And just as things looked to be going amazing, Cancelo found a way to mess things up. Everything seemed to be fine until out of nowhere it was announced that Cancelo was being loaned out to Bayern Munich. And people were wondering, why would City do this? Getting rid of their best and most versatile fullback for no apparent reason? Well, at the end of the day, it came down to a matter of attitude and mentality. Pep doesn't like players who challenge his way. Just look at what he did to Yaya Toure, exiling him both at Barca and later on at City, eventually leaving City after 8 years. Just because of Pep Guardiola. And Cancelo is going down a very similar route because as soon as Pep started playing Rico Lewis, it was reported that Cancelo was very unhappy and even threw a fit in training. Eventually this behavior ended up with him being loaned out to Bayern and later Barcelona. I mean, I still don't know why Barcelona didn't make his signature permanent, but then again, you see the state they're in financially, it makes sense. I mean, it took a player getting injured and 2 others leaving for them to be able to register Dani Olmo. But we're going off topic, back to Cancelo. After a pretty good year with Barcelona, he joined back up with Man City's squad this summer, with Pep even saying he might have a future at Man City. But in the end, the likely thing happened, and he ended up joining Al Hilal just a few days ago for a deal worth $25 million. While he's an amazing player, Cancelo is the perfect example of how attitude and mindset is very important as a football player and to never let your ego get in the way. With that being said though, Cancelo has truly revolutionized what it means to be a fullback in the modern age, and he set the stage for the many fullbacks that'll come after. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think of Joao Cancelo, and is he still one of the best fullbacks in the world? With that being said, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe because best believe we are here to take over.